Yo, everybody, what's up? I'm Antoine, your host of Life on the Court podcast. Welcome back to the show and thank you for joining. Listen, the focus of this show is to help you with life in your court, right? Every week I'm gonna give you tips, tools, strategies, conversations, just thought-provoking questions that's going to help you with life in your court, just to get you to think a little bit, maybe to get you to possibly change your mind, get you to help someone else. But on this podcast, I really believe up until this point, we have given a lot of nuggets, jewels, gems that can help you in life of your court. Last week, we talked a little bit about leadership as it pertains to the March Madness tournament starting. So I'm going to kind of expand a little bit more on leadership. So if you see in the coming weeks that we talk about leadership, listen, don't be alarmed because it's going to be able to help you better lead yourself, help you better lead your communities, help you better lead your teams at work. So, and that's the purpose of the show because it's about life in your court. And then I'm gonna talk about life in my court. So, thank you guys for joining. Again, we're gonna bring something to you every single week. So, without further ado, we're gonna talk about this week's episode of leadership. And I want to start off this episode with a quote. One of my favorite coaches of all time, Tony Dungy, and I'm gonna read it from him. So he said, the secret to success is good leadership, and good leadership is all about making the lives of your team members or workers better. Simple as that. Tony Dungy won a Super Bowl with the Indianapolis Colts, but really, really good guy. Has had a ton of books out just talking about leadership. So I wanted to expand more on that when it talks about leadership. So leadership is not just a title, but it's an action. Everything rises and falls on the backs of leadership. Did you know that? Every single thing. The rise of it, the fall of it, it's on the backs of leadership, of your leaders. So you must lead with courage. A major part of leadership is expression. How well you lead and how well you follow. Yeah, we can have people out there who claim to be the great leaders and just lead. But have they ever followed before? And when they did follow, how did they do? Right? So these are things that you may have to consider when you talk about leaders. Let's talk about the DNA of leadership. The DNA of leadership is identity, self-esteem, communication, and creativity. I'll say it again, identity, self-esteem, communication, and creativity. Those are the four elements, in my opinion, the DNA of leadership. So we're probably going to talk about those today. First, identity. Your identity is who you are and not what you do. As you can see in my background, see a lot of stuff that I, reference to with me with basketball. For a long time, I thought that a basketball player was who I was. You can see it today, even in this tournament, the March Madness tournament that's going on, that a lot of players' identities are wrapped up in being a basketball player. That's not their identity. That wasn't my identity. That's just what I did. Okay. And then the next thing with your identity, you got to understand who you are, the understanding piece. You got to be able to explore who you are as well. When you are in compromising positions, when you are in positions that maybe defy the odds, your back is against the wall, how do you respond to that? Not how you react, but how you respond. So you got to be able to explore those things when it comes to your identity. I got 6 R's that we're going to talk about over the next 2 episodes of Life on the Court podcast. Okay, so the 6 R's are reasons, resolve, relationships, responsibilities, reactions, and reciprocation. So like I said, we're gonna make this a 2-episode thing. So the first three we're gonna hit on today are the reasons, the resolve, and the relationships. So let's jump right into it. So when you talk about reasons, again, all about when it goes to leadership, you gotta identify who you are. And one of those things when you come to reasons, it's like, why do I want why do I want this? Why do I do this? Why do I trust this? What are your reasons for that? All right. The next thing is, why am I here? Why am I here? Why am I present, living my life? Why am I at this job? Why am I at this job in this location? Why am I in this city? All right. You gotta identify that. Why am I here? Who are you? And who are you made to be? You got to explore those things through the reason and the reasoning. I'll say that again. Who you are and who you are made to be can be explored through the reasons and reasoning. Are you honest about your reasons? Again, those questions that I'm going to give you guys. Are you honest about your reasons? Like looking in the mirror and saying, like, I'm honest about these reasons that will help identify you. Your journey shapes what your reasons are. I'll say it again. Your journey helps shapes what your reasons are. Because when we go through life, my reasoning for wanting to be, let's say, successful at basketball, because I didn't come from much, thought that was the quickest way to get it. I put all my time and effort and energy into it. But at the same time, I was a teen parent, right? And I want to be able to provide for my children. So my reasons for that, going so hard at this sport and being so wrapped up in it, was based on my reasons. Right? Before it was the love of the game, but then it was like, oh, I have souls to provide for, mouths to feed. So the reasons change. When we talk about these reasons, again, what motivates your actions, your thinking, your behavior, and your thoughts? I'll say that again, because someone needs to hear it again. What motivates your actions, your thinking, kind of that reaction, that response, right? Your behavior and your thoughts. What motivates that? Again, that's when we giving you guys something to talk about when it comes to your reasons. Part of that identity piece that's going to really help with your leadership skills. Let's go with resolve next. Number 2, resolve. Me management. Resolve is simply me management. How I manage what I've learned about myself. Once again, in compromising positions, getting fired, having someone lie on you, right? Or something positive happen to you. Somebody give you $100. Somebody pays your bill. How do you respond to that? What do you learn about yourself? Do you pay it forward for someone else? Or you just take that blessing and keep moving? So I'll give you when it comes to me management, that resolve, I'll give you a formula really quick. That's acceptance times focus, or plus focus equals resolve. I'm gonna tell you something what else resolve does. When you resolve, you have that management of self, that management of me, right? Touching yourself, management of me. Resolve removes control. You got these people that always want to control any and everything, right? Are you that person that wants to be in control of everything? Not just some things, but everything. Is that you? If so, I want to ask you this. Is it stressful? Are you sleeping at night? Are the people around you like to be around you since you want to control everything? All right, so that resolve, again, we're talking about the DNA of leadership, okay? these 6 R's, and our number 2 is resolve. So resolve helps us remove control. And I'll tell you this, if I don't find resolve, the only place I can go to is resentment. Ooh, I gotta say that again. If I don't find resolve, the only place I can go to is resentment. So I encourage you all today to resolve what's going on in your life. Resolve what's going on with your identity, okay? Because when your resolve is your reality. Simple as that. And the people who really don't have resolve, it's hard for you to find closure in any and every situation, whether it's a relationship, whether it's a job, and that can stunt you from moving forward to that next level, that next blessing, or whatever the case may be. That can stop you if you don't have that resolve with yourself. If you don't have that acceptance and that focus, then you're not going to be able to provide closure. Okay. So moving on to the third and final one for today, relationships, which I value so much, especially on building and maintaining genuine relationships. So when it comes to those relationships that are probably difficult, have you identified those reminders of those past relationships that maybe trigger you a little bit? What about those targets? Right? Things start to feel a certain way, and you not knowing how to respond to them or react to them. With those relationships, have you identified those things? So I actually want to think about your relationships, right? Whether past, present. Why did you settle if they were tough? Or you may be in one now. Why are you settling? Because we're trying to be leaders, right? We're trying to lead other people effectively. And part of that DNA of a leader is having that identity. Some of our identity is wrapped up in relationships, and they should not be. So ask yourself this question. Why did you settle? Or why are you settling? Why did you stay so long? What was it? That relationship had you on a stronghold so bad? Whether it was a relationship, again, it could be mine. My relationship was basketball. Listen, I love basketball so much for so long, and basketball did not love me back. And at one point, I went through a downward spiral because I didn't understand why I couldn't break through to the next level of basketball. After putting all this work in, I finally figured out why, though. But that's another story for another day. So why did you stay so long? Like, I stayed so long because I thought that was my way out. That was my way to freedom in my own mind, right? But why are you in this relationship so long, with whether it's this school, your job, personal relationship, friendships, relationships with family members? Sometimes you can only love them from a distance. Again, we talk about these relationships, part of the 6 R's that we're going to cover next week as well. But for right now, rule number 3, relationships. If I'm not comfortable with who I am, then I'm comfortable with what you told me to be. Saying it again. If I'm not comfortable with who I am, then I'm comfortable with what you told me to be. And for me, guys, that's not going to work. And I hope that doesn't work for you. But I want you to think about that. If you're not comfortable with who you are, you're probably comfortable with somebody said something about you, and because of your actions, your reactions, that you are who that person said you were. Instead of looking within, looking yourself in the mirror and identifying who you are and being comfortable with that, and living your life how it's supposed to be. I think Jill Scott said this on living your life like it's golden. All right. Live your life like it's golden. Because I'll tell you one thing, relationships directly are connected to your identity. Your relationships, the company that you keep, the people that you're always around, the people that you are talking to, that is a direct connection with your identity. Again, and taking that identity and trying to lead people effectively. Are you doing that? I need to know. Y'all gotta talk to me. Man, text me, email me, something. Like I need to know, because this episode I think can really, really help some people over the next 2 weeks when we're talking about the 6 R's in the identity phase that will really help us in our DNA as a leader, the DNA of leadership, right? Power of the people who you call friends. The power of the people that you call friends. Again, those relationships. I've said it before, I'll say it again. Look at the last 5 to 10 people that you are texting. What are you guys talking about? All right. Is it empowering talk? Is it growth conversation? Are you affirming each other? Are you setting goals? Are you having an execution mindset? Are you having an action plan to go with it? Are you talking about recharging, self-care, right? And are you being part of the problem or part of the solution in all of this? All right, because again, I just want to help you guys each week. We'll give you guys some just valuable information that I truly believe that can help you. And a lot of people, believe it or not, struggle with their identity. And how can you lead if your identity is messed up? If you don't know who you are, how can you help lead others? Masking it's only going to work so long. But like I said before, you got to be comfortable with who you are, or you're going to be comfortable with what everybody tells you who you are. And for me, I'm not signing up for that. And I hope you don't either. All right. So listen, that's it for this week's episode of Life on the Court podcast. Again, we're going through the 6 R's. Okay. And I gave you the first 3. It was our first 3 were reasons, resolve, and relationships. So next week, I'm going to give you the next 3, and we're just going to unpack those things. But listen, I need you guys to share this with someone. Okay, as we go through identifying who we are, being able to lead effectively. Okay, so listen, until next week, because this is going to be a good one, right? Until next week, I thank you all for listening. And if you want to learn more or watch older episodes of Life on the Court podcast, please go to YouTube, search Life on the Court podcast, or search my name, Antoine Harris. If you want to learn more about us and what we do at the Antoine Harris Group, that's cool. Just look us up, Google us, Antoine Harris Group. Or you can visit my website at www.antoineharris.com. Again, that's www.antoineharris.com. You can also email me, info@antoineharris.com. All right. So until next time, I'm out. Peace.